How to practice nudism. Nudism, also known as naturism, involves a lifestyle of nudity at home and in public, and is all about getting in touch with your body and respecting yourself as well as the other people in your community. Contrary to what some people think, it's more about freedom than sexuality, and it can be a very liberating and rewarding movement to align yourself with. If you're interested in the nudist movement and would like to know how to put your ideas into practice, then see Step 1 to be on your way. Part 1: Understanding Nudism. 1. Know that nudism can help you get closer to nature. There's a reason why some nudists prefer to be called naturists. Nudism is all about returning to your natural state and being in harmony with nature. Being nude while you're on a beach, in the woods, or in a natural setting can help you experience nature on a whole new level. One of the greatest and most freeing parts of nudism can be the feeling of waves or sun against your nude body. 2. Know that being nude doesn't mean being sexual. Of course, it's natural for many people to think that something untoward should happen when a bunch of people get together without any clothes on. However, most people who follow the nudist movement don't think there's anything inherently sexual in taking off their clothes. They just think it helps them be free and to return to their natural states, and that's all that matters to them. Being naked isn't inherently erotic for nudists. They get used to seeing a nude body without thinking sexual thoughts. Also, you shouldn't think that you have to have a perfect body or to look super sexy to be a nudist. Nudists have bodies of all shapes and sizes. Though it may take some convincing to show your friends and family members that getting naked doesn't have to mean getting frisky, this is the lifestyle that many people choose. There are, however, some sects of nudism that are more sexual in nature. Make sure you do your research into the nudists in your particular community to see which lifestyle fits your needs. 3. Know that nudism can help you feel free. Being a nudist can help you return to your childhood self, to remember the person you were before you cared about putting your clothes on and ran around naked and happy. It's a very liberating feeling. Nudism can help you return to that pure and self-conscious version of yourself and can help you feel happy and free in a friendly environment. Think of how complicated our lives have become. Having to choose clothes, jewelry, footwear, and so many other items only makes it harder to be our natural selves. 4. Know that most nudists aren't naked all the time. You may have an idea of nudists as people who are naked at the grocery store, movie theater, or who show up to family barbecues in the buff. However, many nudists actually hold regular jobs and are clothed during their time out in the general public, even if they are always looking for opportunities to shed their clothes in a safe environment. Committing to being a nudist doesn't mean throwing out all of your clothes. It means embracing the opportunity to be nude when you can. Part 2: Practicing nudism at home. 1. If you don't live alone, respect the boundaries of the people you live with. Though you may want to frolic in the buff around your 3 siblings and parents or in front of all of your roommates and their guests, it's not considerate to practice nudism in front of people who are uncomfortable by it. If you live with people who say they are okay with you being in the buff, such as accepting roommates, then you can be nude anytime you like. However, if people like your parents or siblings are really not into it, then you can practice nudism in the comforts of your own room or in other parts of the house when you know no one else will be home. Have an honest and frank conversation with the people you live with to gauge their reactions. Of course, it's important for you to practice your beliefs, but you don't want to infringe on the freedoms of others either. 2. If you don't live alone, talk to the other people in your home about joining you. If you live with people who might be interested in the movement, too, then you can also have a frank conversation about inviting them to join your nudist lifestyle. If they don't know much about nudism, they may be a little alarmed, at first, but they may feel better once you educate them about the beliefs of the movement and set them straight on what nudism is really about. If they don't want to join you, there's no sense in pushing it. Nudism is something that people should only do if they are really comfortable with it. 3. Keep yourself out of view of your neighbors. Out of respect for your neighbors, you should try to keep the blinds or shutters down if you're practicing nudism in your own home. Going out in your yard in the nude is probably also a no, unless you live on a secluded farm or in another rural area. You may think that this puts a damper on the fun of being a nudist, but this will help you practice your beliefs in a respectful manner. You should also keep a bathrobe handy, just in case, if the doorbell rings unexpectedly. You don't want to give a delivery man or neighbor the wrong impression. If you really want to practice nudism in your yard, you might be able to put a fence around the yard to keep neighbors and other passers-by from seeing you. However, this is probably a feasible option only if you live on a street with one-story houses. You might be able to plant trees or tall bushes around your yard, as well as putting up a fence, if you live in a two-story house. 4. Do what you normally do, naked. Now, the fun can begin. Once you know you're alone or that anyone else at home is comfortable with your nudism, and once you're out of view of the neighbors, you can go about your daily life, in the buff. You can make breakfast, watch television, study for exams, call friends, play with your cat, dance around, or just do whatever else you normally do without having any clothes on. That's the fun of nudism, doing what you normally do while feeling liberated. Of course, you should still shower, wash your hands, and keep things hygienic, whether you're in the buff or not. It's important to stay clean and fresh, whether you're clothed or not. 5. Sleep in the buff. One of the greatest joys of being a nudist is sleeping naked, feeling the cool sheets and mattress against your body when you drift off. Heck, many people who aren't nudists love sleeping without any clothes on. If you're committed to practicing nudism, then this can really be your time to shine, especially if you sleep alone or don't have roommates. Set your home to a nice temperature or open a window, depending on the season, and enjoy feeling free as you drift off. If you do live with roommates and don't want to startle any other people if you take a bathroom trip in the middle of the night, you should hang a bathrobe on your door so you can quickly throw it on if need be. 6. If you're committed to being in the nude at home, consider moving to a more nudist-friendly location. If you've tried to be nudist at home but feel too restricted because of the other people in your home, the judgment of your neighbors, or the general lack of freedom that you feel, then you may be better off moving to a more secluded area, either where there are less people to offend, or where you can live with people who share your views. Of course, if you're too young to go out on your own just yet, you may have to wait until you feel responsible enough to go out on your own or just to relocate. Part 3. Practicing nudism as a family. 1. Be aware of the debate surrounding practicing nudism as a family. You may want to practice nudism as a family because you want you, your spouse, and your children to feel free and at peace with your own bodies. This is a great motive, but before you embark on this journey, you should be aware that there are some dissenters out there who think that it may be unethical to raise your children as nudists. Some even go as far as to call it sexual abuse. At the end of the day, you should decide what's right for your family while making sure that your children don't do anything that they aren't comfortable with. 2. Start by encouraging nudity. If you want your whole family to transition to being nudists, especially if you have young children, then you have to play your cards right. You can't just go from wearing 10 layers of clothing to all of a sudden asking everyone to undress. Instead, you should encourage your family members to wear less clothes and even to be nude more, so you get comfortable with each other's bodies before taking the leap. If your children are nude during bath time, don't make it a big deal that they're not wearing clothes. You can even encourage your kids to spend more time in the nude, if they are comfortable doing so after playtime. Of course, once you start doing this, you have to make it clear that this is what your dynamics will be like, but not what the outside world expects. Let your kids see that being nude at home is acceptable, while it may not be in the world at large. 3. Make your family feel confident. If you want to practice nudism as a family, then you have to make people feel confident in who they are and how they look. Make them feel beautiful, don't laugh at their bodies, and give them compliments to make them feel like they are wonderful people both inside and out. Though nudism is not sexual and it's not about telling your husband he looks great naked, you should encourage people to be who they are without apology. Just maintaining a positive environment in your household can go a long way in encouraging your family members to be in the buff. Though healthy criticism is a good thing, you should focus on being more positive than negative and to encourage your family members to grow spiritually and creatively. 4. Make nudism feel natural. Another thing you can do is to make nudism feel like the norm when it comes to your home. If people aren't wearing clothes, don't make a comment about it or talk about how great it is to take some clothes off, but just treat it as a matter of fact. This will stop your family members from feeling self-conscious, and it will make them feel like this is the most normal thing that they can do. If you and your family members are all sitting around nude at the dinner table, treat it as a totally normal thing instead of saying how nice it is that you're all nude together. If something is natural, then there's no need to call attention to it. 5. Make nudism a convenience. You can show your family that nudism is not only natural, but it's convenient. You don't have to struggle with something to wear around the house all the time. You don't have to go shopping for a million new sets of clothes, and can make do with what you have to go outside. If it's a hot day, you don't have to turn the temperature down to 0 degrees because you'll naturally feel cooler because you're in the buff. 6. Do it as a family. Strength in numbers can help you practice nudity as a family without worry or trouble. If all of you are comfortable with it and doing it together in your home, you will strengthen your bond because of your love for the freedom that nudity brings. Of course, you should make your children feel comfortable enough to say that they don't approve or that they don't want to adhere to this lifestyle. You should respect their needs and beliefs and avoid ever forcing your beliefs on them. Part 4. Practicing nudism outside your home. 1. Join a nudist community. If you're really interested in becoming a nudist, then you can join a community of people who are also interested in maintaining their rights to be nude and to practice nudism safely. If you're in the USA or Canada, you can join TNS, the Naturist Society, AANR, American Association for Nude Recreation, or FCN, Federation of Canadian Naturists, for example. Most countries have a national nudist or naturist organization. A Google search will find them for you. These organizations will help you find health clubs, private residences, beaches, or other locations where you can safely practice nudism. Joining the community will also make you feel less isolated about your beliefs and will help you meet more like-minded people. Though most nudists are focused on being free and communing with nature, there are some communities that do encourage nudism for sexual reasons. If this is not for you, be very careful in your research. 2. Find a nudist beach or resort. You don't have to be a card-carrying member of a nudist colony to find a nudist beach or a nudist resort in your area. If you can just find a place that fits your ideas of accepting yourself and respecting your own individuality, then you'll be set in finding more places to practice nudism and to meet more like-minded people. If you practice nudism with your family, make sure that family members of all ages are welcome in the nudist beach or resort area. 3. Take a nudist vacation. In recent years, the vacation has become more popular than ever. A lot of people aren't necessarily comfortable with being naked in the place where they live, though they love the idea of going to an entirely new country or city to practice nudism. You can branch out of your comfort zone by finding resorts that are nude only and spending a week enjoying the nudist lifestyle. You can check out ordinary vacation websites and search for nudist spa vacations to find a resort that is perfect for you, or you can use specialty websites that can help you find the perfect nudist destination. Some people are opposed to practicing nudism in public in a place near their home because they're afraid of running into someone they know. If you're hundreds of miles from home, this worry will melt away. 4. Find opportunities to be nude outside. Though you should make sure that you don't offend an unsuspecting hiker or neighbor with your nudism, if you can find some quiet and secluded spots to be nude in public, this can help you practice your nudism. This can involve skinny, dipping in an isolated lake, camping in a remote location and practicing nudism there, if it's allowed, or practicing your nudism in a remote farmhouse or another secluded location. Just make sure that you don't break any legal rules in your country or state. Though it's not illegal to be nude in a public place, practicing nudism is illegal in states such as Arkansas or countries like Iran. Tips. If you're male and get an erection, you can get into a pool, hot tub, or lake, throw a towel over yourself, or excuse yourself, and wait your erection out. Warnings. Don't force nudism on anyone who does not understand or does not have an open mind. Nudism is illegal in the state of Arkansas. If you live in Arkansas and want to practice nudism, you'd probably be best off visiting or moving to another state or country where nudism isn't outlawed.